When the iPhone 15 Pro first came out, I got my hands on as many cases as possible so I could provide you guys with a narrowed down list of some of the best cases out there. Since then, of course, I've had a chance to review even more cases. And by the way, if you want to check out that list, there's still some awesome cases. It'll be a link somewhere here. Anyway, I've yet again narrowed down another list of some really awesome cases, and believe when I say some of these are understated, but they are really darn good. So let's get right into the list. First up on the list, we have a case by Andar. It's called the Aspen. Now, since Apple has officially stopped making leather cases, there has been a huge void in the market for high quality leather cases, and the Aspen is a grand example. I mean, the minute you unbox this thing, immediately you are welcomed by this gorgeous caramel toned color, and it's full grain leather, and it feels as good as it looks. So darn nice to feel. It's going to age gracefully, I can tell right now. Now inside, you'll notice you have a soft cloth finish, obviously to protect your phone from scratches while it's in the case, and then you have the MagSafe ring, so yes, you do get MagSafe compatibility. Now once you put the phone inside, it snugs kind of tightly to the case itself, which is a good thing. A lot of leather cases don't have that, so I love that over here as well. As far as the lips go, they're not super high, so you get a medium degree of protection, which is good enough for clearance across most flat surfaces, though I'd be careful around uneven surfaces. You also get a nice immersive view of the screen since the corners aren't dominating it. Now you do have metallic exterior buttons, which again provide a really nice premium feel. I love the black coating to give a contrast against the caramel tone, just really nice, a decent degree of tactility all around, and they feel pretty nice as well. So now with that said, on the bottom side, you will notice you have three openings, one for the speakerphone, the microphone, and the USB-C port. And I like how the opening for the USB-C port is fairly large, so most cable sizes should fit pretty easily. On the back side, I immediately fell in love with that metallic ring across the camera lens area. Again, you get a nice degree of protection, so you'll have clearance, but also it's metallic and that black color just looks really good. So if you like contrasting tones, this is definitely the right case for you. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's a leather case, so you'll notice they have full grain on the entire backside. You do have a little bit of branding on one of the sides, but again, guys, this is an absolutely stunning case. They also have various discounts across their website. They offer free exchanges and have a return policy of up to 90 days. The Aspen is definitely one of the top contenders in the leather case market right now. Next up, we have my favorite case right now, the Benks Magclap Armor Pro case for the 15 Pro. That is a mouthful, but trust me, it's a beautiful case. Immediately when you take this thing out of the box, the first thing you're gonna notice is they have a Kevlar 600D finishing on the entire backside. Imagine a phone feeling super grippy but silky smooth at the same time. I mean, it's crazy. Other than that, this is a hard TPU case, so you'll notice on the insides you have a hard TPU finishing. However, you do have a MagSafe ring insertion here, so yes, full MagSafe compatibility. Now, inserting the phone is pretty easy. It just snaps right into place, and you have a nice secure grip. You are going to notice that the actual lips are of medium thickness over here, so you do have more protection and more height, but it does dominate the bezels a little bit more. So if you don't like dominating, the bezels with the lips, then you might want to consider their Air version of this case, which is a little bit thinner. Nonetheless, I personally think it's really good. Now, the buttons are plastic. However, they've done such a good job here color coding them that you'd be fooled to think that they're actually metallic exterior buttons, and the fact that they're super tactile just adds to create a premium feel. With that said, I also like that little orange tone they have around the action button. It's a unique take, and I again think it's pretty cool. Now at the bottom side, you'll have three openings, so the microphone, the speakerphone, and then one for the USB-C port itself. It's a pretty large opening, so most cables should fit just fine. Now we come to my super favorite part, and that is the ring around the lenses. I mean, it's a metallic exterior, which again adds a lot of quality. Just look how beautiful the color coding is. That silver color matches perfectly with my titanium colored iPhone. It's the perfect match. And then combine that with the fact that you have a good amount of clearance because of how thick this ring is, you also get good protection. Now again, the Kevlar material is on the entire backside, and again, it just feels so silky. It's kind of got a carbon fiber feeling, but way more grippy. The only downside is this case is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, so if that annoys you, you'll frequently be cleaning with a microcloth fiber. Oh my god, why can I not pronounce that? Anyway, the point being, it's a fantastic case, and I highly recommend it if you want a clean look for your natural titanium iPhone. Today's video is in partnership with Ekster. Go ahead and toss out that mediocre wallet you've been carrying and get yourself an Ekster wallet. Aside from coming some superb packaging, these things are amazing. Take for example their Parliament wallet with their high quality leather stitching, available in real and vegan options, the ability to carry up to 12 cards, their proprietary eject mechanism, and so many other cool utilitarian features. Or perhaps you're more of a sleek kind of person where you prefer a low profile wallet, check out their Senate card holder series, which comes in aluminum, carbon fiber, and even leather offerings. Again, lots of card carrying capacity, the same proprietary eject mechanism that we've come to love, and so many other cool options. You can find these wallets and so many more on Ekster's website, so make sure you head down there for the latest deals and sales. Next up, we have Moft Movas Snap phone case. Now, the reason this phone case made it to the list, honestly, is that gorgeous misty cove color. Most phone case companies cannot execute a white colored phone case because it's just hard and they often end up looking very ugly. Moft has done a fantastic job here. I mean, the minute you take this thing out of the box, that white color just looks so nice, and complemented by vegan leather over here, has a nice stretchy feel to it. It's really good, and apparently it's also fairly resistant against stains. You can easily clean it, and it should age nicely. On the insides, you'll notice you have a soft cloth finish, again for some protection against scratches, and then you have the MagSafe ring as well here, so of course you have MagSafe compatibility. Putting the phone inside the case is pretty straightforward. It snaps into place. It's got a nice tight feel. Now, what I like about this case is that definitely higher in terms of clearance, but they're not too thick, so you still get good screen immersion and decent protection. The buttons, on the other hand, are made of plastic. Unfortunately, would have been nice for a more metallic finish, but nonetheless, because of the silver color coating here, you'd be fooled into thinking they are metallic buttons if you didn't know better. I also like the tactility. They feel nice. They're tactile. They don't feel mushy, which is always a nice thing. Now, on the bottom, a little bit of an interesting choice. I personally would have preferred circular ones, but it's a minor nitpick, honestly. And then the USB-C port is rounded, and also they've got good clearance here, so all sorts of cables again should fit right in. Now, on the back side, it's worth noting that the lip isn't too high, so you don't get as much clearance as some of the other phone cases I mentioned. This is also good if you don't like a really fat lip across your phone lenses. Now, you will notice that the rest of the phone case pretty straightforward. Again, you've got that nice flat surface finish with that vegan leather, and there's really not a whole lot more to say about this case. If you like white colored phone cases, I definitely think Moft has done a great job here, and the best part about this phone case is it matches perfectly with any of the iPhone 15 Pro colors because white is such a neutral color in nature. The next phone case I want to show is the Covert case by Ghostek. Now, this is a great phone case if you are on a bit of a budget and you also like semi-transparent cases. Now, by far their best color in my opinion is their black color variant. They have a ton of other options, but this one honestly has some unique features to it. So the minute you open this thing up, you'll immediately notice, of course, you have a nice clean transparent finish for the back side. You can clearly see the MagSafe ring, so you know you have MagSafe compatibility. They have coated in a black color to match with the rest of the case, which I appreciate. Now, on the back side again is where you would put the phone in, so it just kind of snugs right into place. I like the tight feel. And another thing you want to immediately notice that you do have nice, large, and raised lips. This provides a lot more protection than the average iPhone case, though it comes at the cost of slightly more dominating lips that kind of cover some of the bezel, so you don't get the same type of screen immersion that you would with a thinner case. I personally think it's a good trade-off. Now, you'll also notice you have raised edges or across all the corners for maximum drop protection. Again, good emphasis on protection. The buttons unfortunately do take a bit of a hit given that this is not technically a premium case. So what I mean by that is you'll immediately notice that the buttons have a silicone finish and they're a little bit more on the mushy side. That doesn't mean they're devoid of any tactility. They just don't feel as nice as some of the other phone cases. You also have a fully exposed action button, which is an interesting choice given this case has a high emphasis on protection. Now, at the bottom side of the phone case, you will notice you have two very precision cut slots here for the speakerphone and microphone to kind of have minimum exposure, but then you have a massive opening for the USB-C port. The good news, of course, is that any sort of cable will easily fit on this thing. Now, on the back side, this is where the best part happens. Look at how large the lip is around the camera lens. You obviously have a great degree of protection, but what's even cooler yet is that golden ring. This is very unique it just looks very nice as a black and gold combo, and it actually adds a whole new layer of look to your iPhone's camera lens area. It's just something I wasn't expecting, and it's really well executed. The rest of the case is pretty standard game. Again, you have a transparent finish at the back. Again, you can see the MagSafe ring. You have a lot of textures going around the sides for maximum grip. Next up, we have Phone Rebels Generation 5 15 Pro case. I really like this phone case for its really nice looks, but also good balance of protection. So immediately you will notice a few things. Firstly, this phone has a carbon fiber back, which is unique compared to the other phone cases here. It has a semi-rough finish, but it's very grippy, though it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, just an FYI. On the inside, you'll notice you have a soft cloth finishing, which is good for scratch protection, and also, of course, MagSafe rings, again for MagSafe compatibility. And then once you put the phone into it, it actually holds it in a really tight fashion. Your phone is not going anywhere, it's snug. Now you will notice you have nice raised lips, which means you get good clearance across flat surfaces and even some slightly uneven surfaces as well. But the actual lips are fairly thick, which means you do get a little bit of bezel domination, so you lose a little bit of screen immersion, but again, that trade-off is going to come to your preference. You also have slightly raised edges, so you do get some degree of drop protection. Again, protection seems to be a bit of an emphasis here, which is nice to see. Now, the buttons are a bit of a letdown because they're a plastic finish, and the paint job isn't that good either. So the other plastic finish buttons we've seen, they kind of make up by looking kind of metallic. Over here, you don't get that. The good news is that the buttons are extremely tactile. In fact, they are really nice to press on. They're responsive, and that definitely makes up for the plastic buttons, in my opinion. The cutouts at the bottom, very interesting. So you'll notice you kind of have these semi-oval shaped cutouts for the speakerphone and microphone. And then for the USB-C port, you have a standard oval shaped cutout, though it's not as wide. So some larger third-party cables may have compatibility issues, just an FYI again. Now, my favorite part about this case is that really cool ring around the camera lenses. Again, you've got that nice silver or grayish color, which gives that metallic tone. It goes perfect with the titanium colored 15 Pro. It's a perfect look. Now, the only thing I will say is that it's not as high as you might think, so you do have clearance, but not as much for the lenses. Again, the rest of the body has a carbon fiber finish, and you'll notice that the sides have a very rubberized and aggressive texture going on for maximum grip. I would almost say this is the most gamer type phone case out of all the phone cases reviewed. That's not the case per se, but it just feels like that sometimes, but it's a great looking case overall. Next up, we have the Mageasy Odessy M case. The reason I chose this phone case is for its sheer utility. In fact, this is one of those phone cases where when you unbox it, you get a lanyard out of the box because, well, there's deliberate functionality around it. I'll talk about that in just a bit. Now, it starts off simple enough. It's a semi-transparent case, so you can see that, it's kind of got a clean, transparent opening on the back side. You can see the MagSafe rings as well. And then, of course, on the other side, it's pretty straightforward as well. Once you plop the phone into it, it's got a nice tight feel. In fact, it takes a quick minute to actually get the phone inside, another minute to take it out. With that said, you will notice you have nice raised lips. The good thing here is that you get a lot of clearance for both even and uneven surfaces alike. The bad news is that these are some thick lips, so they definitely bleed into the bezels, which means it's not as immersive from a screen viewing perspective. However, you will also notice that you have really deliberately raised corners or edges over here, and that's interesting because you get a lot of drop protection, but it does kind of look a little, weird per se. Now, the buttons over here are also interesting because you do have rubberized buttons for additional protection, and you do lose tactility as a result, so they feel more mushy. But for whatever reason, the action button is fully exposed, which is kind of unbecoming of a protection phone case. I don't know why they did that, but just letting you guys know. Now, at the bottom, the cutouts are clean, so you have precision cutouts for the speakerphone and microphone for minimum exposure, and then you have a nice white cutout for the USB-C port, so great compatibility with most cables. On the back side, you have a pretty generic looking protection around the lens area. However, you do have a good degree of clearance, so it will definitely protect your phone case or your phone lenses, which is always nice to see. And then for the rest of the phone case, it's got a transparent finishing. It's rubberized around the sides, good grip, and a decent amount of viewing of your phone color because of the transparent look, but there's not a whole lot more to say. Oh, except for the fact that you do have two lanyard hooks at the bottom of this case. So again, you can rock it with your chest, and since they give you the lanyard, you don't have to go shopping for one. So there you have it, guys. Those are all the phone cases I wanted to show you. Now keep in mind, if you are watching this video before 2023 Black Friday or during that week, there are probably going to be some great deal for some of these phone cases. So I will leave all the links in the video description below so you can check them out. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please consider subbing to this channel. It genuinely helps me grow. Catch you in the next one.